And we are in game number 1 then of the next series of the day. KingstoNe versus Capoch. This one is going to have Capoch play with a Khmer up in the north in the blue color. KingstoNe play with the Hindustanis down the south in the red color, taking place on Acropolis. As a location for game number 1 and going through the civilization bonuses as usual. Starting with the Capoch, the Khmer will get 10% faster moving battle elephant line units. In addition to that, we also have for the Khmer villages and can garrison inside houses, 5 villages per house. Farmers who do not need mills or TCs to drop food on in the Khmer, as the civilization is not impacted by building requirements. So going up to the castle age does not require fuel age, so on and so forth. For the team bonus, finally, they get 1 extra range on Scorpion weapons, while KingstoNe playing with the Hindustanis will get 10, 15, 20, 25% cheaper villagers, depending on the age, as well as 25% faster attacking camel units. +1/+1 armor and gunpowder units, and for the team bonus, 2 bonus damage against buildings from camels, in addition to light cavalry and hussar as well. Lithuanian ban should have been Bohemians, would have been such a neat ban. The multi-shot unique unit theme. Oh, right. Hasselwagen is single shot. I believe Hasselwagen is multiple shot. It does have extra projectiles, but it's got a main one. And the projectile sprite for that one is a little bit larger compared to the other ones. Yeah, I'm pretty sure about it. I don't think that changed. Hasselwagen is a unit that I haven't really seen a lot of people make use of it in the way that they were originally conceived. Remember that any units behind a Hasselwagen is going to take only 50% damage from incoming projectiles. So if you have a wall of Hasselwagens in front of your archers and you're fighting against enemy archers, like your archers are going to take only 50% of damage, right? Like it's a little bit like a ram that you cannot stop, in the sense that it's going to soak damage no matter what. Even if you don't target it, as long as it's forward, it's going to soak damage. But I haven't really seen a lot of people take advantage of that. I think I might have seen a single game in which somebody tried to actually go for a house side wall. I don't know what the logic behind that is, given the fact that the projectiles are still going pretty much above the house side. I don't know why they would lose attack, but whatever. We are not here to try and make sense out of Age of Empires logic, because if we were, we'd probably go insane ourselves. But anyway, yes, the players should be making a play for the fuel age very soon. We are already on 18 population for both these guys. Let's take a look at the map generation, starting with Capoch. And this is not that relevant in the sense that players won't really be able to go for full walls because of the way that the Acropolis works with a slope, the rocky slope being unwallable, right? But if we take a look, we'll see the Capoch he's got. Main goal on the left-hand side, secondary goal on the right-hand side. Both of these are going to be somewhat the same distance from the TC. The main one's a little bit closer, and then the main stern is on the back, which is good. Secondary stern is on the left-hand side, and then there's a lot of wood over here that he might want to take advantage of, especially if he gets to the castle age. Going for something like a TC around this area could be really good. Check the map generation from KingstoNe. By the way, it's going to be the first player going for Lumberjacks already. We're going out into the valley. We'll see that the red player, he's got the main goal on the left-hand side. He's got the secondary goal on the right-hand side. And then on the left-hand side, we have the main stone. And the secondary stone is going to be towards the southeast as well. Plenty of wood on the right-hand side as well. And I would say that, yeah, map generation over here is not really favoring anybody too much. We have 1 back gold for KingstoNe, which is good. Capoch does not have a back goal, but the main goal is so close, and it shouldn't be too hard for him to defend that either. So it's probably not going to make too much of a difference. More you know, I never used them. It was dumb. It was a dumb thing that the Srivansha did a better job of it then the House of Wagons, right. The biggest problem with House of Wagon is how it's ranged, meaning that it's not going to protect the melee units you want to shield, and it's weak against melee, so it's a meat shield that needs a meat shield. Right. Yeah, you can say that, but it's also kind of like a ram as well. Like a ram, you can use as a meat shield against ranged units, and it's also going to be weak against melee, so it's like a little bit of a weaker ram. If you have no melee units, then the House of Wagons can potentially be effective the same way as a ram, with the difference, of course, that they do absorb damage no matter what. Or they do not absorb damage, but they diminish the damage that the rest of your units take, right? But yeah, if you do have melee units, then it's not really the best. Or if your opponent has melee units in any case. Here comes the tower from KingstoNe, though. I thought it was going to be Capoch the one to go for the tower, given KingstoNe was the first player to go for the wood out in the open. But no. It's not the case. And the tower comes up, and Capoch, he's got no idea about it. It's gonna be such a rude awakening for the villagers. There we go. Now he knows about the tower, and he's gonna have to hop out of here. Where does Capoch keep on collecting wood from? He's got a woodland on the right hand side that could also get towered. Although KingstoNe's not collecting any stone, he could aspire to go for yet another tower on the right hand side if he wanted to. For the time being, it's going to be not too difficult for Capoch to find a different source of wood. And there we go. Good defense for KingstoNe. Should be able to clean these units up for the most part. So he has gotten vision of the lumber camp on the right hand side. He has gotten vision of the lumberjacks over there, but he did not see these lumberjacks. So you gotta wonder about it. Yeah, KingstoNe is not collecting any stones, so it's quite clear he's not gonna try and go for yet another tower. The damage he's done over here, he deems to be enough. Especially so he doesn't keep the villagers idle, right? Until he gets another tower up and whatnot. Capoch on the other hand, yes, he got a little bit of idle economy over here, but right now, after stabilizing back and going for extra wool lines, he's going to be on a higher worker efficiency in the last minute compared to KingstoNe. So he's collecting the most resources so far. That should be Capoch, right? He does have extra minutes of gather economy time, which is very, very good. There we go. There we are. Shouldn't be too difficult. Once again, for KingstoNe to defend over here is just spearmen that he's fighting against, and he's got some spearmen in the archer. So while the battle took place very close to the lumberjacks over there, in the end, no casualties resulted for the red player, and he's gonna be fine. Capoch, the same worker count as KingstoNe. He does have a stronger military count right now. He's been going pretty heavily into spearmen, interestingly enough. But what's also very interesting is that it doesn't seem to be delaying him too much, right? He's got 20 food workers, so he's been able to go for extra farms, despite spending a lot of wood on the Spearman, despite getting pushed away from the original wood line. And it seems like he's fine. It seems like he's going to be just fine over here. Extra scouts coming in from Capoch though. I am not really sure about this. KingstoNe has been going for Spearmen, so going for scouts seems a little bit of a risky proposition for Capoch. Well, if he's able to bait all the Spearmen from KingstoNe into fighting his own Spearmen, now that we have some archers from KingstoNe and he might be compelled to take an engagement, then Capoch could make use of the scouts while the Spearmen from KingstoNe are elsewhere to try and get some villages down from the wood line or potentially elsewhere as well. We'll see. For now, Capoch is just bailing back. He's going to bait these units back into his base in KingstoNe. KingstoNe's economy is looking good. He's got almost enough. Put the click up to the Castle H, and by almost I don't actually mean that he's got like 700. I mean that it's not going to take too long for him to get what he's missing, right? Because of the current food economy he's got. Gold, on the other hand, it's also going to take some time for him to get enough of to click out to the Castle H, but it shouldn't be too long from now. And Capoch, well, Capoch, he does not have anywhere near as many resources as KingstoNe, even though he's got more farmers right now. He's been going for a lot of upgrades. Scale bar and armor, bloodlines. He's got forging right now as well. And this could be really good if Capoch plays his cards right. He is sending already 5 scouts around the left-hand side that could find their way into the wood line from KingstoNe, the player who's been trying to save resources to go up to the next stage, as opposed to going for extra military to defend himself with. This could come up at a huge price in KingstoNe. He does get the quick walls right next to the gold miners. The TC will still be too strong for Capoch to fight against, but he's going after the villager anyway. He gets one, and he's going to get yet another villager over here for sure. He's trying to. He cannot body block it, but it's still going to result in another villager going down, and now that is not a good engagement for Capoch. He will end up losing the scouts. But he did manage to get 2 villagers down. Meanwhile, we take a look at the right-hand side, and KingstoNe was also trying to put some pressure himself, but he's got spearmen and archers against a bunch of spearmen from Capoch, and scouts from the bull player as well. So in the end, Capoch, he ends up decoupling his scouts from the spearmen, taking the archers down. That was not getting into control. KingstoNe led the archers too far away from the spearmen, and they went down as a result to the scouts from Capoch. The stable is coming in right now for the bull player. He is going to commit to a full field push over here. And how many stables do we have? Is it 2 or 3? It is 3. It is 3 stables for Capoch, and he's going for it. KingstoNe will be the first player to click out to the Castle H, but might not actually have much to work with once he gets there. He's trying to get the walls up now around the wood lines, and he was probably aware what Capoch's approach was going to be this game. If he knew about the stables, and he knew about 2 stables, and he knew about the 3rd stable coming up, right? You should be expecting Capoch to be going indeed for the full feudal push. So going for the walls over here is nothing but calculated from KingstoNe. A preemptive measure as opposed to knee-jerk reaction. And yeah, the scouts are roaming around, but so far unable to really achieve much of anything. Capoch has managed to get only 2 villagers down from KingstoNe so far, and the red player is going to be in the Castle Age very soon. Playing with the Hindustanians, that means access to camels that attack 25% faster. That means a further discount on villagers. Of 20% cheaper villagers already. And that means a much, much rougher proposition for Mr. Capoch. Beautiful walls. Nice tower on the way now for Capoch, and KingstoNe realizes about it right away. Castle H should be on the way for the Argentinian very soon. Meanwhile, KingstoNe is just trying to keep the spearmen spread around his base, and he's got to do it, right? He's got 2 on the right-hand side. He's got some on the left-hand side over here as well. Just got to try and keep his economy safe, so he does not get pushed out of the game by a Fuel H player, right? Now that the camels are coming out, those scouts are nowhere near as strong anymore with the spearmen. The camels are already out. KingstoNe shouldn't struggle to defend against Capoch's push anymore. And yet Capoch keeps on going so damn heavily into scouts. He's got 3 more queued up. He already has 14. That's going to be 17 scouts from Capoch going to the castle edge. He's going to want to keep these alive so he can go for the light cavalry upgrade. However, against camels, it's still not going to be good enough. Is this the 3rd or 4th set for today? It's the 3rd set for today. The 4th set's going to take place afterwards using recorder games. There we go. Capoch is just roaming around. Unable to do too much of anything. Meanwhile, the back scout over here might actually end up getting a villager. Yeah, that was not good for KingstoNe. I mean, he trapped the scouts, so now it's going down from Capoch, but he ended up sacrificing the villager. And Castle H is there for Capoch. Finally, he's got the light cavalry upgrade on the way. 17 scouts, soon to become light cavalry. No chain barred armor just yet. No iron castle coming in just yet. KingstoNe instead is going for wheelbarrow. Does not have scale barred armor. Doesn't matter. He's got camels. Even against light cavalry, it shouldn't be too difficult for him to clean those units up. And KingstoNe's managed to get a second TC up, so now it's gonna catch up in worker count against Capoch, and very soon it's gonna start surpassing the bull player. Meanwhile, Capoch on the other hand is going for knights. Knights in light cavalry against the Hindustanis. This is not what you're expecting to see at all. Capoch is just trying to leverage his strong food economy to go for these units, but KingstoNe's been going for a good amount of camels over here, and that's going to be enough to clean up all the light cavalry. It's going to be enough to clean up all the knights. Capoch is to do any damage over here. He's gonna have to strike KingstoNe where he least expects it most likely. And where is Capoch? Least expecting it. Where's KingstoNe actually? Where does it least expect it? It doesn't seem like there is a sweet spot over here for Capoch, right? KingstoNe seems to have defense everywhere. He's got defense on the right hand side. He's got camels, got the spearmen down south. He's got camels on the left hand side. Yeah, KingstoNe's done a really good job. Now he's finally starting to pull ahead in villager count. Capoch did go for a second TC, no third TC inside just yet for the bull player. There we go. Now KingstoNe is not only in a position to defend himself with these camels, but now is gonna start trying to get the pressure going himself. Beautiful. Yeah, it's overall looking very, very good for KingstoNe, right? He will end up getting cleaned up over here. However, the remaining units from Capoch are too low HP for him to go forward and get any damage done with. While KingstoNe, on the other hand, he's got extra camels coming out by the minute. He's been able to keep villager production going for the most part. And he's not really taking too many losses, right? 4 villagers going down so far this game is not really a lot for KingstoNe. One thing that I am slightly concerned about, though, for the red player is the fact that he has been playing reactively for the most part ever since Capoch got to the Castle Age. So while the worker count might be just one higher, two higher over here for KingstoNe, you take a look at the gather economy time, and it's actually favoring Capoch by a lot. It's close to 2 hours of extra gather economy time, and Capoch gets a conversion. There we are. Yes, sir. Pikeman upgrades coming in right now for Capoch as well. So KingstoNe, he's always seemed like he was in a comparable position compared to Capoch, but it turns out he's actually been struggling a lot. Worker efficiency of 58% right now compared to 70 in the last minute. Overall, 65 versus 73%. Sorry. Now it's going to be over 2 hours of extra gather economy time for Capoch. Unbelievable. The farmers obviously do have something to do. They do have a lot to do with that for Capoch. But that seems to be about it. There we go, University on the way now for KingstoNe, but Capoch is gonna keep on putting pressure. He's got a 4C workshop on the way, the pikeman. Getting pushed away right now by the crossbows. But shouldn't be the only unit that Capoch's got to work with. If he can bring the knights over, should be able to take care of these crosses just fine. Or alternatively, if he goes for a defensive siege workshop, for instance, then he can go in. Yeah, there we go. The siege workshop a little bit further back, right? He goes for one mountain, and that's already going to be enough for him to get the push going, to resume the push going for pikemen and siege. Will work really well against the Hindustani so long as Capoch knows what he's doing and he's got good unit control. But now conversion's coming up. It's not going to connect. Capoch gets pushed back, and KingstoNe now is gonna start getting the push going himself. Still behind by about 5 workers though. Very good defense for Capoch, and as expected, the knights will have the pikes back against crossbows. He's coming in right now. And KingstoNe's buying himself a defensive castle. He knows what's coming up over here on the right hand side. He already had a castle on the way as well. There's a 40C coming in over here, and KingstoNe's just doubling down on full defense while Capoch's gonna try to get a castle up. If he can take a good engagement against the camels over here, against the crosses as well, and push the villagers away from the castle, he might be able to get a castle up while denying KingstoNe's. So here comes Capoch, the bull player, with all the force of the game. Using the pikemen to take the camels down, using the knights to take the crossbows down. It seems like he's coming out on top, but what does he have left to work with though? The castle comes up right now from KingstoNe, so Capoch gets pushed away from there, and the castle was too ambitious from the bull player, so he ends up relocating it. That should have been a better engagement for Capoch, feels like to me, but the castle coming up at the last second also helped alleviate a lot of the pressure for KingstoNe. Now the castle is coming up for Capoch one more time. He's got rams in addition to the knights. He's got rams in addition to the pikes. He's gonna try and put some pressure up over here. It's very likely to end up just losing the rams without getting too much damage done. But it's nonetheless interesting to see Capoch's push over here unfold with the third castle, with a castle coming up over here. Third castle in the game, first one for Capoch. He is going to build for himself a stepping stone around which to reinforce his push, so he's got extra production buildings coming up around the castle. Right now in the form of a barracks, but very soon it could be in the form of extra stables, potentially extra siege workshops. And there we are. Beautiful. There we go. Now the castle's coming up now for Kingston, but Capoch's push is looking unstoppable at this point. He's the only player with the Imperial H on the way right now, while Kingston does have some Gulam coming out. It doesn't seem like it's going to be enough for him to offset for all the pressure that Capoch is going to keep on putting against the red player. So we saw this go down already from KingstoNe. This C is going down eventually as well from KingstoNe to Capoch's castle. And he's moving a big chunk of his economy over to the left-hand side. And Capoch knows that there's gotta be something from KingstoNe on the left-hand side, given that he's not gone for extra economy towards the south anymore. And he will start taking some villagers over here. He's got 2 knights only, and he's too close to the castle. That is not the best location for him to raid, but the knights are actually holding on really, really well right now. It's going to end up getting a bunch of extra villages, and this is not even the end of it, of course. As Capoch is about to get to the Imperial Age in 30 seconds or so, we're going to see trebuchets come out from the blue player. We'll see. Potentially the Halberdier upgrade. Are we going to see Cavalier? You know, in the sense they get faster attacking camels, which are great. But Cavalier, they are still an incredible unit against any Castle Age unit, including camels. And given the amount of knights that Capoch's got to work with right now, you know, Cavalier upgrade would certainly make sense. He's got the resource for it, and he's going for it! Cavalier is coming up! In addition to that, we have a trebuchet on the way. There we go. Fantastic. Cavalier's gonna be here in 25 seconds right now. He's gotta steer clear of the camels. And good quick rolls coming in for KingstoNe. Interestingly enough, the red player is on the highest score right now. This castle could go down. The castle crumbles right now from KingstoNe. That's going to put Capoch in a much better spot to get the raids going on the left-hand side. However, there are a bunch of camels in KingstoNe. We'll be in the Imperial Age in 25 seconds, so we'll see heavy camel coming in. Right-hand side. Oh, the Cavalier got in though! KingstoNe got the walls up! But did not lock the gate, and there's just too much going on right now for KingstoNe to pay attention to everything. So the Cavalier do come out, take a bunch of the villagers down. And as KingstoNe gets to the Imperial Age, we see chain barded armor coming in just now. Chain mail armor coming in for him as well. He needs to go for plate barded armor. He needs to go for heavy camel. Meanwhile, Capoch is making the play for Halbadia we were expecting to see. He's got yet another castle coming up on the right-hand side. And the game is so hectic. KingstoNe still closer to 200 population compared to Capoch, but Capoch's push over here is looking absolutely fantastic with the castle going down. The amount of value that Capoch has gotten out of his push is so much higher compared to KingstoNe. Right now, the KD is favoring KingstoNe for sure. However, Capoch has gotten so much damage done in the form of eco-efficiency. As you can see, KingstoNe's economy has not been quite as efficient throughout the game compared to Capoch, and that's already going to result in so many extra resources. In addition to that, also, Capoch ended up taking castles down, DCs down, like every push he went for ended up resulting in a lot of losses. So I would say between the KD over here showing a better trade for units for KingstoNe versus all the pressure that Capoch put and all the damage he's been able to get in terms of worker efficiency and defensive fortifications from KingstoNe, I would say that, yeah, the game has probably still been kind of even in terms of overall values destroyed. Yeah, you know, like resource destroyed versus resources spent for all these players. But yeah, from this point onwards, Capoch seems to be able to keep up with the game significantly better compared to KingstoNe's. Got to Cherry Chase taking the castle down. KingstoNe, yeah, he's got the Golem still trying to get the raids going, but Capoch does not seem to be concerned about that too much. He's got defensive castles and whatnot. Hey Tail! Haven't been on Twitch for a few days. How's everyone? I'm pretty sure everyone is alright. Last time that I asked, everyone was doing pretty well, and yeah, that's going to be GG everyone, but KingstoNe was doing pretty well, and that's going to be game number 1 going in favor of Capoch. Well done. I'm doing alright, man. Kind of tired right now, but doing alright overall. A lot of stuff going on at the same time. A lot of stuff, but always exciting for sure, and very much optimistic and looking forward to the future. So that's good. In the end, it's going to be a better KD for KingstoNe. Yes, it does end up getting a very close to 5-to-4 KD ratio for economy. We have a stronger economy for Capoch, collecting about 2,700 extra resources. And yeah, between the extra resources collected and all the buildings raised, right, from Capoch, many of these were fortifications from KingstoNe. I would say that the KD over here kind of evens out, or the value spent versus value destroyed once again kind of evens out. In the end, Capoch does end up coming out on top though, so he's going to get the lead 1-0 in the series. Let's go back and wait for 2. There we go, game number 2. What stage is the game in? We are in game number 2 out of a Playo 3 series. This is Fortress. And this is the 3rd series of the day. The 4th series is going to take place using recorded games after this one is over. There we go. We are still very much in group stage. There are 5 rounds. And this is the 2nd round for the players. And next week's going to be the 3rd round. The week after that. Actually, this should be the week of the 3rd round, right? Yeah. So next week should be the 4th round. And the week after that should be the 5th round already. And when does NAC begin? Well, the thing about NAC is that it's not going to take the full month, so it's not really reliant on this tournament or this league being over by the turn of the month. Instead, it can keep on going a little bit longer, and then the NAC is going to take place throughout a single week, if I'm not mistaken, so it's not too bad. In any case, Capoch is playing with Bengalis on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, you're going to have KingstoNe playing with the Bohemians. Are your playing skills getting polished? Mine? Yes, I would like to believe that they are. Up until now, I've tried to play 2 games. Last week, was it? Or the week after that? The week before that, actually, sorry. So 2 weeks ago, and couldn't do it because there was an issue. I was playing on Linux, and it turns out that I needed a quick fix to make multiplayer work, otherwise it went out of sync. And I applied the fix, but I started practicing instead. So I've been, for the most part, just practicing. I don't really have a lot of time to play, so I just do like half an hour of, you know, grinding the build orders here and there. And it's been good. I've been trying to get back in shape, and it's been good. I was trying to refresh some of the mechanics, and this week I'm going to start playing again. It's not going to be on stream. I want to get back in shape first. I want to be able to do stuff without having to dedicate 100% of my brain power just to the Dark Age. So it's gonna take some time before that, but I will be recording those games, and if I have a good one, I could potentially upload those to YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, by the way, if you're watching this series on YouTube, is that something you'd be interested in? Seeing me play some Age of Empires as opposed to just casting? I did have a poll some time ago, using a community post, where I asked what kind of additional content would you like to see other than just casting games, and playing 1v1s was actually, I think, the second most popular, or the most popular. So I don't remember, but it was up there. I think it was the second most popular, and the most popular answer was like, just keep on casting. So yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, definitely do let me know. And if you're not interested, also do comment below that you are not particularly interesting. That's not to say that you don't want me to do it, just that you would not watch the videos if they do come up, because that's also very important for me to know, right? It's not like, if only the people who are interested comment, it's going to seem as if everyone wants to. So if you're not interested in that, also do say in the comments. That's not something that I would be personally interested in watching. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to do it, but I just want to gauge what the general interest is, and to see if it's the same compared to when I had the poll some time ago. Regardless, yeah, that's the idea right now. Record the games, and if any of them are good, then we can potentially upload those to YouTube as well. But there are a few reasons why I'm playing again. First off, I want to get better for my casting abilities, and then I also want to get good enough, like top 10, 5% of the player base, so that I can start making some educational videos and I have something to back up my claims with, right? Because right now I feel like I have a bunch of game knowledge. I could make already educational videos, but if anybody says, well, who is this guy? Why should I listen to him? Nah, right now Elo doesn't reflect it, right? So I just want to get that up to par. Hey Dancer, hi, welcome. My only interest is that you finally stopped seeking absolution. Didn't you get the memo, Goss? Oh, that stopped being a thing a long time ago. You seem to be out of the loop. You might want to talk to management about the newsletter. Anyway, the game is fairly uneventful, as is, because of the nature of this map. We can talk about the civilizations, we haven't done that yet. Capoch, playing with the Bengalis, will get +3/+3 armor on monk units. Elephantines will take 25% less bonus damage, and they will have conversion resistance, and then on top of that, they also get 2 extra villagers spawning underneath each TC when getting to the next stage. So of course, up to the castle, it's just going to be 4 extra villagers between the field and the castle age, right? For the team bonus, on the other hand, we're gonna have for Bengalis. What was the team bonus for them? I think the trade cards bring 10% additional resources, right? But or 10% food, I think. But yeah, then the rest of the bonuses are not really going to be particularly relevant for a map like this, like the HP regeneration on ships. Instead, Kingstone's civilization over here is going to have all his bonuses applied to this game, except maybe for the team bonus, but For everything else, the Bohemians will get free mining camp upgrades. They're gonna have, in addition to that, what do we have for the Bohemians? We're gonna get Sanctity and Fervor. Affect villagers, in addition to access to chemistry and hand cannoneer in the castle age. Besides that, Spear Line units get 25% higher bonus damage from the Bohemians. And they have a 100 wood discount on universities and blacksmiths. Team bonus, as already stated, is not too relevant in a 1v1 situation, but it's going to be 80% fast work in markets in case anybody's curious about it. Still a no in the Nations Cup? There are already 8 Argentinian teams registered. Yeah, there is no way. There is no way that I would have enough time to play tournaments. Like, my day starts when I wake up. And I finish working, and I kid you not, I finished working 3 hours before I had to go to bed to wake up the next day. Like, there is no freaking chance in hell that I'm gonna be able to be playing tournaments over here. I actually ended up having to reduce my playtime for Age of Empires by a third because of just how much work there is behind the scenes. I used to do 1 hour every day, and then I had to reduce that to 40 minutes. With the new part-time job that I took on, I need to get time out of somewhere, right, for that as well. That sounds like too many work hours. Yeah, well, it's not 100% of working time. There is some personal growth stuff that I do every day. For instance, I spend 1 hour every day practicing German. I spend some time practicing music, either singing or guitar playing, depending on whether or not I have stream that day. If I have stream, I cannot sing, so I do guitar, so that's already 2 hours. And then, well, it's actually less than that. I have actually reduced music time to 40 minutes as well. So it's 40 minutes of music practice. It's 1 hour of German. It's 40 minutes of studying. I study every day. I like to learn stuff. And then there is work time, which is either streaming or the days that I do not stream. It's behind the scenes stuff, and these days I've been working on tournament proposals, right? And then there are breaks in between each session. So I do like bouts of an hour, and then I take like 10 minutes off. And then I go full focus for 1 more hour, and then 10 minutes off. And like that, it usually takes a long time. Then there's 1 hour off for breakfast. And overall, I would say that there's probably about 5 hours to 6 hours of actual work every day. And then there's studying and stuff that I do for personal growth and all the breaks in between. I am done doing my stuff like 3 hours before I have to go to bed to wake up the next day. I need to reevaluate my schedule, man, because it's... I have chosen this, by the way. I'm not forced by anybody. It's by choice, but I would like to have a little bit more free time, so I'm gonna have to make some concessions for sure. We live in half team Indonesia and Mongolia, maybe even Singapore. More than 50 nations. That sounds great, Coyote. That sounds like you do not need any more players at the very least. There's going to be a lot. Do you have a time frame? What is the time frame for Nations Cup? Does it go for the whole year, or what is it like? Is there a group stage? I haven't really taken a look at the settings too much, and I'm aware that I'm taking a tangent over here, but there is nothing really going on in the game. We have 3 TCs for Capoch, he's just playing for economy. We have 4 TCs for... 3 TCs, sorry, for... Oh yeah, 4 TCs actually. For KingstoNe, he's just playing for economy, and the game is going to be like this until we get to the Imperialists. That's just the way that Fortress goes. But yeah, I haven't taken a look at the settings for that one too much, and I'm really sure what to expect from it. But I would imagine it's going to be a pretty long one, and I would imagine there is a group stage, right? It's kind of like a Age of Empires World Cup, in a sense. The qualifier will start on January 30th, 3 rounds of qualifiers, because it's so many teams. Then, the 32 teams group stage is going to start after that. and then the knockout phase. Okay. So 8 groups of 4 teams. That means that we are going to have 3 rounds in the group stage, or is it going to be 6? So the break during NEC 4 probably finish in May. Wow, that is actually not as long as I thought it was going to be. Interesting. Okay, that's good. You have a good prize pool, by the way, from what I saw already, which is great to see. Conversion connected. Yes. GVD getting rigged automatically into the final though, right? Hi, are you playing in GVD? I may be captain of that team. I see, I see. Sounds good. And Imperial is finally on the way from both these players. Capoch. He's got Fervor on the way, of course. We'll see a pretty heavy monastery play over here, monk play over here. And check this out, by the way. You wanted to see the projectiles. You can see now that the Hussite are actually attacking with more than one projectile at a time. They shoot one main projectile, which looks a little bit like a mini cannonball, like that one right there. And then there are like bullets coming out afterwards as well, so they do attack with more than one projectile. It's just that they do not always come out at the same time by the looks of it. It's 3 play all 3 in the group stage. Alright, so it's a single... Like, it's like 3 rounds, a play of 3. As opposed to going against each team twice, which sometimes happens in sports. It's like 700 registered players already. First time that I might not remember every player name in my tournament. Shaggy not knowing everyone? Yeah. It's a lot of people. 700 players, damn. Are the signups closed, by the way? When do signups close? I wish Hustle Wagons were better. It was such a good and useful unit in real life. 28. Okay, thank you. I'm going to take notes right now, and I'm going to tweet about it later, and let people know that they can still sign up. So the 28th. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're definitely watching this before the 28th. You might want to sign up as well if you enjoy playing Age of Empires. Even if it's just casually, there's, you know, over 700 players registered. Not everyone's going to be a pro player, so you can still have fun. Regardless though, with the Imperial Age here, we finally get some action in Capoch. He's got the trebuchets coming out. KingstoNe, he's got the trebuchets coming out as well. He's got bombard cannons on the way. There we go. Entry range on the way now for KingstoNe. He's got the barracks coming out, so it's going to be hand cannoneer for KingstoNe. He's gotten chemistry already, so he can go for it. But against this, does not make any sense. It's got to be skirmishers. Yes. He's been going for skirmishers, just going to increase production potential. So the bombard cannon is out. The skirmishers are out right now for KingstoNe. He's looking good. He's got a great deal of pressure coming up against Capoch, who is trying to upgrade the units he's got right now. He does not really have too many Rathas, but he's going for everything that he needs. He's going for bloodlines. He's got already Bracer. Panther Arch Armor. Gas goes down from Capoch. This is super rough though. If he was banking and going for a full Ratha push over here, he needs to keep the castles up. And right now, it's not looking like that's going to be the case. Capoch gets pushed away as KingstoNe goes for another castle forward himself. He's gone for the stone walls up in the north, so he's not going to have to worry about any raids over here. Although there is a sneaky villager from Capoch over there. We'll see if he makes use of her. In the end, for the time being, KingstoNe is going to be the one putting the most pressure, and Capoch is struggling. The blue player right now, the Argentinian, was the only player in the group to have gotten a clean sweep in the first series. In the first round of the tournament over here, he played against Miguel. He racked up 3 points, and he took the lead on the leaderboard. Meanwhile, on the table, rather, on the standings. While, yeah, right now, he seems to be struggling big time against KingstoNe. This castle's going down for sure, it is. And if Capoch was ever hoping to make a play for Rathas, that's gotta be a dead dream at this point in time, as he's making a transition to light cavalry instead. And KingstoNe's got a beautiful push. Needs to start making a play for pikes, and he does have a good amount of units. They are kind of out of position, but he's trying to bring these forward. Here we go, the castle's going down. Hey there, Advance Alternwitz. Welcome. Here come the light cavalry from Capoch. He doesn't have as many as he needs, so, and he does not have population space right now. He's going for extra houses, but it's taking a while. And notice the patience from Capoch over here as well. He could have tried to take the engagement earlier already, but he's not going to be able to. So now he's coming in with Ratha. He's got melee mode for these units, but these are going down to the half of the year. In melee mode or range mode, the Rathas get completely destroyed. So the half of the year will take the units down. They will take the light cavalry as well. And Capoch is going down to 149 population. Down from close to 180 just a few moments ago. And KingstoNe, on the other hand, is going to be pop cap. As Capoch calls a GG, KingstoNe doesn't have secure in game number 2. It's a very interesting map in the game mode that we see over here with Fortress played as Regicide, where the game is extremely uneventful for the first 20 minutes, and then it's like all hell breaks loose in the last 5 minutes of the game. Basically, it's like making a transition from Black Forest to Deathmatch in a sense. And in the end, KingstoNe's gonna be the one coming out on top. Well played. Better KD for him by a lot, better than 74 KD ratio. Economy, stronger economy for Capoch, collecting about 200 extra resources. Did not make a difference in the end. The engagements were not good, and Capoch ended up taking very inefficient engagements, very inefficient trades. So that's going to be it for game number 2. And here we go. Capoch. He'll be playing with Byzantines. KingstoNe, he'll be playing with the Japanese. Capoch with the Byzantines is going to be up in the north in the blue color, and he's going to get 10, 20, 30, 40% extra HP on buildings and the Dark Field Castle and Imperial Ages. Besides that, we'll see for the Byzantines. In addition to all of that, 25% cheaper Skirm, Spear, Camel Rider units, as well as 33% cheaper Imperial Age cost. We're gonna have, in addition to that, 25% faster attacking fire line ships as well. So fire galleys, fire ships, and fast fire ships. And we also have for Mr. Capoch free town watch and free town patrol. As for the team bonus, the Byzantines will have monks that heal units 100% faster, while KingstoNe, playing with the Japanese, has got a 50% discount and drop of buildings. He's got 33% faster attacking infantry to start in the field age. He gets also the ships that collect resources 5, 10, 15, 20% faster depending on the age. With twice the HP and plus 2 pierce armor, those are extremely tanky efficient ships, while for the team bonus, we get 50% extra line of sight on galley line ships. So galleys, war galleys, and galleon. Map generation next, and starting with the blue player, we'll see the Capoch. Capoch's main goal is on the back, which is beautiful. We're gonna have the secondary goal towards the south. The other secondary goal is on the left-hand side as well, and then we have for the stone, the main stone on the right-hand side, secondary stone towards the southeast. So, fantastic, fantastic goal over here. He's very, very close to the edge of the map too. He's very close to the corner of the map, rather. So, just connecting the dots over here shouldn't be too pricey, shouldn't be too difficult, and he should be able to secure this gold, should be able to secure the complete pond as well, but not so much any extra resources. So this does come with some drawbacks. While taking a look at Kingstone's map generation, we'll see the red player's main goal is on the right hand side. He's got the secondary goal on the right hand side, kind of far away as well. We have the other secondary goal on the left hand side forward, and this is not looking anywhere near as good as Capoch's home map. If not home map, rather map generation, if he is to wall himself up, he can also go for the walls towards the edges of the map, but he's gonna have to go for greedier walls if he wants to secure this, the gold over there, like this, right? And this would allow him to secure this would allow him to secure the main stone, which is on the back. Secondary stone and the secondary goals will still be too far away, but if he does end up getting away with these walls, he will at the very least end up securing the whole pond and a woodland, which is something that Capoch does not have, right? So it's a trade-off over here for both these players, what they are able to get compared to the other guy. There you go. Vision ship coming out, ready for Kingstone. He's got dock up. Capoch's got the dock up as well. Yeah, and it seems actually like the dock came up for both these players at about the same time. Well, you would be expecting the Japanese to probably do a little bit better, to try to prioritize it more, right? Because of the extra resources from saving 50% off the drop-off billings. Regardless, though, you see Capoch coming in, getting some scouting information. Oh! And the villager does not have loom! Capoch just started targeting the villager over here while the villager had loom, and now he's trying to get the hill advantage, and in the end he's gonna be able to get it, but the TC's over there, and Kingstone had just finished researching loom himself. There is a pause now. And what is this pause about? I'm not really sure, but Capoch is going to resume playing right away, and so will Kingston, of course. So anyway, the walls are coming up, and Kingstone will be able to finish this. He has sent the weak villager back towards the DC. He sent another one to get the walls up. On the left-hand side, he's going for the walls himself as well, and as expected, if he just connects the dots, he will secure himself. Now, there's a few different ways that he can go about this. He can go for the walls over here and just towards the TC. The same way on the left-hand side, we could see the walls coming. Oops, sorry. We could see the wall coming towards the TC, kind of like this as well. Alternatively, he can go for walls from woodline to woodline, woodline to woodline, and then from here to here. And that way, he will actually be able to secure this. Plus, of course, if he gets the villagers some berries eventually as well, he should have villagers already at hand to go and protect the walls over here, right? Instead, he's going for the walls towards the TC. Okay, that is valid. That is 100% valid. That's one of the options we contemplated, and Kingstone's gonna decide to go for that one instead. Still good though. Might not connect to the wood lines, but he does end up securing the berries regardless, so it's not too bad. There we go. Hey, Ats! Hi, hi. I'm afraid I cannot do that, Goss. Turns out I am part of the coalition of people keeping it away from you. There is a very picturesque sentence right there. Hey, Hardcore Massive. Welcome. There we go, Capoch. Ends up pushing KingstoNe away. This is interesting given as how KingstoNe actually managed to chunk a lot of HP off Capoch's scout earlier with the villagers, but anyway. Capoch is going for the walls pretty much the way that we were expecting him to go for this, and might not be necessarily exactly what we were anticipating. Maybe I was thinking of more for the walls towards the TC, but this is fine anyway because it's gonna be able to scare the berries, and yeah, he still has the pond completely safe on the back. On the left-hand side, there is a dock already up for Capoch, and there is a second dock on the way. Meanwhile, where is the villager from KingstoNe? He bailed. Did he realize? I think he realized about this. Yeah, and he bailed. So he's in the villager over the right-hand side instead. He already has a villager on the right-hand side, so this one is going back home. But he already has a villager over here. He's going to try to get control of this pond, and it seems to me like he should. Capoch. This got control of his back pond. KingstoNe's got control of the back pond as well. Capoch's got control of the left-hand side pond. And yeah, now on the right, KingstoNe's going to get control of this one. Although Capoch is not going to just give it up. He is paying attention though, mind you. KingstoNe, he's got another dock on the way, and Capoch will try to make the play for the dock over here regardless. Look, KingstoNe's bringing a spearman so far. 1-0 KD. The scout has gone down from KingstoNe. Yes, guys, I'm afraid we're gonna have to go from two friends where one Shrek fanatic friend harasses the other one constantly to two enemies. It's an upgrade, really. You should be happy about it. Yeah, Capoch is gonna be completely uncontested on the left-hand side because he took the time to go for fire galleys over here. He is preventing KingstoNe from getting access to the water. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, it's not going to be quite the case, right? The dock is already up over here, and even though Capoch ended up losing the villager, you can see some blood marks over there. I think it's disappearing now. He did manage to get the dock up though, so we could see some navy coming out, and he's going for it. Fire galleys for now. Interestingly enough, Capoch, he does have 5 extra workers compared to KingstoNe. He's taking advantage of fishing extensively, and even against the Japanese, he has managed to get more food in. He has managed to get himself much closer to go up to the Castle H. And KingstoNe's very close to going up to the Castle H himself as well. Capoch, unfortunately though, he was kind of missing the buildings though, so he's got a stable on the way and the blacksmith. He's gonna be on his way to the Castle H. Meanwhile, KingstoNe does end up beating Capoch to the punch just by remembering about the extra buildings, and it's amazing to see players of such caliber still forgetting about the buildings to go up to the next stage. This wouldn't happen, of course, with Khmer, but you still would not expect the players to have these kind of issues at this level anymore, but still they do. Age of Empires, just going to use 100% of everyone's brain power, no matter how good you are at the game. Capoch is gonna get ejected now as he does not have enough HP over here anymore. And he'll get cleaned up. He needs to cancel these units. He's wasting resources trying to get any extra fire galleys out. doesn't have the ability to repair the fire galleys anymore. So yeah, it's just wasted economy for Capoch at this point. Here we go. Castle Age is here now for KingstoNe. Capoch, still 15 seconds away. KingstoNe has gotten house though. Oh, interesting walls. Okay, he's trying to expand the walls. There we go. Capoch is trying to get yet another dock up over there. Won't be able to. And in the end, this one is going down. So it's not looking the best for Capoch on the right-hand side, but it doesn't need to. He already has 2 pawns completely under his control. He's already been able to get more fishing ships out for a longer time compared to KingstoNe. And even if the red player catches up for worker count right now for fishing ships, Capoch has already been collecting resources for a while with those extra ones. So we'll take a look at gather economy time, and surprise no one, Capoch is right now 25 minutes higher, sorry, in gather economy time compared to KingstoNe. In an ideal world, that's going to translate to about 500 resources. Taking a look at KingstoNe's side of the map though, we see a second TC come up, and it's coming up a little bit earlier compared to Capoch's, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but well, they're coming up at about the same time anyway. Yeah, there we go. There we are. Oh, it's open though. It's open though. The quick wall's coming in for KingstoNe. Connect just in time. You know, the house is going to keep the walls closed for the time being, but Capoch's push over here is of course going to keep on doing more and more damage. If he can take the palisades down and start putting pressure against the monastery, eventually he'll be able to breach through as well, unless KingstoNe is able to perfectly... yeah, keep the villagers repairing, right? But in the end, Capoch is going for the palisades, really committed to trying to break through. And KingstoNe already had villagers over there as well at hand. I don't think that is actually a good thing. KingstoNe having idle villagers around the walls reacting to Capoch's push is not a good thing. That's about 5 villagers that KingstoNe had over there that are not really collecting any resources. So Capoch is going to keep on trying to break through. And KingstoNe is going to be forced into going for extra defense over here. Interestingly enough, while it is Capoch the one to put pressure against the red player, we're gonna see that worker efficiency in the last minute is actually higher for KingstoNe. Capoch, however, does have extra villagers, so that mitigates that a little bit, but not by a whole lot. 7 extra workers at 10% less worker efficiency in the last minute, still going to result in a few minutes of less gather economy time for Capoch in the last minute. We don't have any idle villagers for Capoch though. I think it was just the fact that he was going for the 30C that was delaying him a little bit. But now he's got it. And KingstoNe's got the 30C himself as well. Still finds himself 8 villagers behind, rather 8 workers behind, rather. Yeah, and Capoch, well, if he can't take KingstoNe on water on the right hand side, it's just going to take the water away from KingstoNe. Going after the docks. This could be really good actually. This way, well, KingstoNe won't really have a means to drop the resource, to drop the food from the fishing ship. So this could be really good now. There is a demolition ship from KingstoNe. He's got to be careful. There's a war galley coming out. Oh, cover the archers from KingstoNe. Classy. This is a fully upgraded unit available to, or fully upgradable unit line available to the Japanese. But in the end, Capoch ends up taking one of the docks down. There's only one left over here for KingstoNe. And the docks coming up now for Capoch as well. We'll see. But to see on the way for KingstoNe. Capoch, 3 TCs as of now. Beautiful. Still no wheelbarrow? True. Still no wheelbarrow for Capoch. That will amount for 3 villagers worth of TC working time. Capoch is about 8 workers ahead right now, so that kind of compensates for it a little bit. Plus the fact that he's got 5 extra food workers, right? That should compensate already. For the lack of wheelbarrow, if he gets wheelbarrow, that's going to be even better. Scorpions coming in for Capoch, monks, knights. And on the right hand side, he finally was able to breach through. And here comes the Argentinians. KingstoNe's not paying attention on the right hand side. These knights are running rampant, getting so far 3 villages, but it's not going to be the end of it. Take a look at the gold miners going down by the minute. KingstoNe's not reacting over here whatsoever and taking so many losses. The knights are just completely destroying the economy from KingstoNe. He doesn't know! There's a 4 castle attempt over here from Capoch in addition to the night push. Oh, by the time KingstoNe realizes about this, Capoch builds a 16 worker lead for himself. He got so many villagers down. How many actually? 10 kills, 9 of those were villagers, and KingstoNe is even getting pushed away from the defensive castle attempt he was going for over here. To be fair, that is not the best location for a defensive castle right now for KingstoNe. Capoch is the only player with enough resource to go up to the Imperial Age as well, and doesn't seem like it's going to be too difficult from this point until KingstoNe calls a GG for Capoch, right? He's getting a beautiful, beautiful advantage already that KingstoNe does not seem to have an apparent way to catch up for. That was a little bit of a massacre. Could even say a slaughterhouse over there around the gold. And while the pikemen might end up taking the knights down, that still is going to be a bunch of extra villages going down for KingstoNe. And Capoch, well, he is 1.5 minutes away from the Imperial Age, while KingstoNe, on the other hand, has not only not clicked up yet, but he does not have anywhere near enough resources to go up by the looks of it. At all. Now the castle comes up on Capoch as well. Just erecting fortifications. Time after time. Does this go?
in favor of Capoch the moment he hits the Imperial Age? Or will he have to put in a little bit more work? Well, KingstoNe's not immediately calling the GG. As a matter of fact, he's getting very close to going up to the Imperial Age. By making use of the market, he will get what he needs to click out to the Imperial Age. But Capoch's got great momentum. With a head start to the Imperial Age, he'll be the only player with access to trebuchets for the next 3 minutes, and he's got the first 2 coming out. You can expect that number to ramp up significantly in the next 2 minutes, 3 minutes even. In addition to all of that, Capoch, with his civilization, is going to have access to Arbalister, so he's making the transition to that already. He's got Bakinara research, and he's got Bracer researching right now. He's just finished it. Chemistry is coming out for +4 as well, and he already has a Crossman upgrades. He already has a Crossman upgrade available, or researched rather, so he needs to go for Arbalisters. But yeah, it's not even going to be necessary. KingstoNe's just going to call the GG as is. So Capoch does end up taking the series over here. The Argentinian 2-1 against KingstoNe will get 2 series in a row. And what does that mean for Capoch? Capoch is going to get 1 extra point, and he's going to go up to +2 on the table. And I think he will still remain in the first spot because of it. Let's take a look at the achievements. Dedicated for Capoch? Yes, sir. Economy? But economy for Capoch? Yes. Society? We have a stronger villager max count for Capoch as well, and that's going to be about it. Let's go back and take a look at the standings.